everybody. Welcome to our last meeting of the year. It's hard to believe we put this group together just about 6 months ago. And I'm going to try to put together a year-end blog just summarizing everything that's happened in the last 6 months, because it's crazy and impressive and it's been a blast. And we're not quite done. So I think we'll get a few report out on some things we're going to try and squeeze out before the end of the year, just to put a cherry on top of what the group has been doing. So let's dive in. Just a reminder about the objectives here. And I think, given what we've done in the last 6 months, we've really done a great job with this, but I think we have built this amazing community of something that didn't really exist before, which is a community of AI security experts. When I went looking for this in April and May last year, it just didn't exist. And I think we built one. We wanted to build this foundational work. And I think we've seen this with the top 10 list getting picked up and referenced in countless other places. Don't know if John is on today and whether he'll update us, but we can get some updates on kind of the standards work as well. I think John shared on some of the channels that we've been accepted as a member of like the latest NIST working group and things like that. So a lot of really cool stuff going on there. Then, the point of this was build some living work that keeps getting updated. And I think with the release of 1.1 a couple months ago, the release of the initial draft of the security checklist, which we can get an update from Sandy on how that's going. And then I'm hoping Talesh is on. Even if he's not, there he is. He can give us an update on the localizations, where it sounds like we're going to be able to get out some really exciting stuff before the end of the year. So let's go through and we'll dive in. Any of the leads who put in slides, we'll do it first. Then anybody else can chime in as well. So Aubrey, you're up first.
Wow. All right. I am up first. Okay, real simple. I don't have a ton. Meeting announcements continue. If they're useful, or if you think they're useful, fantastic. I'd love to know if any of you showed up to a meeting because of one of the meeting announcements you may have seen on LinkedIn, on YouTube, Instagram, etc. Anyone by chance that showed up because of those? No? All right. Not on the meeting.
I don't know. Well, I go to a lot, Aubrey. So I don't know if, it's possible.
Okay. All right. Well, they'll continue. They're easy, low uplift for me. So it's a good thing, I think, just to get it out there, make sure people know it's on.
Look, I think they're great. And I think it is a good way to just kind of keep it top of mind. It's a good thing to remind people that we're having these. So if they're not a huge lift for you, I'd keep doing them for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it's simple. Day before or 2 days prior, it's like a quick, really, it takes me probably 30 minutes to make those. So, also, I'm curious to know if anyone really has any feedback on the light edit format of the meetings. A lot of times you see, meetings from groups like ours that will just kind of slap the meeting out there. I thought it'd be nice to just kind of put a beginning end on it and a little bit of music just to kind of set the tone. Also, I like to take out the blank space. I noticed that they are getting views. So, on the YouTube channel, we've got, between, it's like 30 to 50 views on each one of those meetings. And the time, like we can see the time that people are sitting and watching them. They are actually watching the meetings. It looks like consuming quite a bit of that content, which is nice, and coming back to it. So, if you have feedback for me on the format of the meeting, please, don't hesitate to hit me up on Slack or let me know in any of the meetings. As always, please continue to send me your events. Anyone but Ads, right? Ads is sending me like 3 events a day. He's like speaking all the time. No, I'm kidding. Ads, of course, is welcome to triple. I don't care. He's great. But really, guys, send me your stuff. I picked up some things on LinkedIn from several members here, and just made sure to amplify that with our LinkedIn presence as well. But if you hit me up on Slack ahead of time or on LinkedIn, if that's preferable, it's always good to have a heads up on those things.
I'm
Hey, I'll just
starting to
add
get.
one thing there,
Sure.
Aubrey, especially just to get it on the YouTube because there are other people who watch it. But I did a lot of the sort of press and outreach around 1.0 and pre 1.0, and um, there's so much interest. People ask in a lot of different places, and initially, I had people approaching me. Some of the early people like John S. and others, as well as ads saying, hey, people are asking if I can speak. Is it okay? And it is absolutely okay. If you're an active member of this group and you want to go speak on behalf of the group and talk about what we're doing, go do it. And anybody who's involved in this, you want to go out and promote what the team is doing, go do it. Do it at your local OWASP chapter, do it at your local meetup. Make videos, write blogs, do it. This is an open source community. This isn't your company that has a PR department that's enforcing standards and stuff. Go out and do it. As long as it's positive and putting out good energy in the universe, love it. Go do it. There's plenty of interest, and we're seeing so many spokespeople on the group pop up now in regular places that I think that's awesome. So keep doing it.
Agreed. And just to put it out there, of course, I'll use the top 10 account, but also my own personal account, and usually This Month in Security podcast as well, to kind of amplify whatever we can do to get stuff out there. Also, I'm looking for volunteers. So specifically for people who are doing technical work, right? I would love to be able to sit and talk to somebody for, a couple minutes about things that have been resolved, preferably by using some of the knowledge gained from the top 10, of course, but really anything involving AI and problem resolution is good for us to get out there so that people see, we are not just a community, but a community of people who are resolving problems successfully day in, day out. So even if you don't want to get together in a studio and chit chat, please send me something, a video on Zoom, right? Anyone can just jump into Zoom and record a quick video. That kind of thing is easy for me to work with as well. 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't care. Whatever you'll give me. I think we can use all the video that we can get. That's it. Happy holidays, I guess. Anyone have anything for me?
So if I understood it correctly, oh, sorry, you first.
No, I was just going to say you're doing a great job, Aubrey. I mean, I know all
Thanks,
of us
Andy.
are getting requests to speak all the time, especially with other OWASP chapters. I think they want to kind of capture some of the energy that Steve has really put into this group.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
I would completely agree. Just the questions, and I've been very bad at that. So I was saying that when we do an engagement, just drop your line so that you know, and you include it, which I have been doing. So apologies for that.
Thanks. Hey, no problem. I try and pick them up when I see them from you, John.
Yeah.
So.
And I think, I've just finished a first kind of pen test on an LLM implementation using the top 10. So maybe we could do a session of how you use that.
I would love that.
That sounds super cool. I would love to hear that session. So I think that would be an awesome thing to put together.
Okay, and that's again that might be a perfect thing to. I mean, F5 has donated our online studio, so I'm able to use that, and that could probably put together a really nice video. I'll hit you up on that on the side, John.
Very cool.
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about the exciting news for the day. So, Talesh, you want to take it away?
I will. Just wanted to chime in, Aubrey, and say thank you for getting those videos out. I just waited to the end because I knew I had to go next. But yes, it's been a couple wild weeks with translations, me being away, and also lots and lots of work by the community in the last couple of weeks. As of right now, we have draft translations in PDF for Hindi, Chinese, and Portuguese. I know it's been a little bit of a change from what we were originally planning, but still we've got two of the biggest languages in there when it comes to population size, Hindi and Chinese. And mad props to Emmanuel, who's on this call right now, who turned around that Portuguese translation yesterday when I was least expecting it. I was really concerned I'd be going out with only 2 languages today. So thank you so much, Emmanuel, and also Ken, who stepped up and just got V1.1 on Chinese translated in almost no time. There's 1 or 2 just tiny little problems with them right now with spacing and whatnot. So I've rewritten the entire PDF generator, and it's open source right now on GitHub. So we have a full system that will go from Markdown all the way to PDF, and something we hopefully want to collaborate with the style team on, so that maybe we could use this for English generation of PDF in the future. So lots of excitement. Hopefully we'll have that PDF, those 3 PDFs ready after this call to communicate with ads for publication. So yeah, that's our next steps. Review, merge, publication. Where we need some help. Everything is based on CSS to generate PDFs from Markdown, and it's an automated process. I am not a CSS guy, but I've gotten it pretty close. So if there's anyone who's willing to lend us a little bit of hand with CSS and debug a little bit of problems, we'd really appreciate it. And now that we have a system geared towards building translations from Markdown all the way to PDF publications, I'm going to start doubling down next year to get more translations in all the languages that we want to hit. We finally have a foundation, and I feel really happy that we have something that I could say, look, I just need to translate and we'll get this published. A couple open questions that has cropped up in the last couple of days. Do we keep the October publication date for version 1.1 in the translation documents, or do we say December? Something I think is more the domain of the style team. And also, there's been some inconsistency in the recognition bits of the translators who've been working on the translation. Some were at the top, some were in the middle, some at the end. So I've kind of just made them more consistent and put them just before the core team. Those are the open questions we're still trying to figure out. I don't think they'll block publication of the draft translations right now, but it's something I'd like to get right. Steve, if it's okay with you guys, I could put a little blurb in and recognize the translators at the beginning of the document before we dive into the top 10 and make sure that gets into every document. I think that'll be a good spot to put it, but right now it's at the end, just before the core team. And because it's been so much work, I've also we could pick up these questions during the discussion part of the call, but because this has been so much work, I've allowed myself a second slide, if you don't mind, to give everyone a sneak preview of what we've been working on.
Hey, before we do that, just to answer your questions, you're in charge. You pick those. You're empowered. Put it at the beginning. Put it at the end. You pick the date, whatever you think is most appropriate. Just pick it, get it done. My only thing is, I think I need to push send on the announcement by 11:30 today, or we should wait until January. Tomorrow's a national holiday in the US and probably a lot of other places in the world, and we're going to lose the audience if we don't get it out today. So so make decisions, and if we get this ready to go this morning, we'll push send. Otherwise, we'll do it after the first of the year. Okay,
sounds good. I'll ping you as soon as I make those decisions.
Cool.
And this is my sneak peek, just to give you a quick taste of what's coming your way. I've gotten the translations as close as I can to the original PDFs that we put out. And again, thank you so much to the translating team. If it wasn't for your guys' hard work and eagle eyes, we wouldn't have gotten this far. That's it on translations.
That looks amazing. And by the way, I hadn't seen the layout from your PDF generator, but that looks really, really good. It looks a lot like the original. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's why I wanted to show it. So we haven't been sitting on our hands.
That's fantastic. Right. Manuel.
Morning, everyone. So just I'm so happy and honored to be part of the group, and hats off to everyone who's doing a ton of work, which is bringing a lot of value. We can see a lot of movement. I want to give us some kudos to Anthony Glenn, which is on the call as well. So thank you so much for pointing out some of the corrections on some work we've done. So I'm busy working on the corrections you suggested just to make more consistent and making our week make sense and also be easy to read. I think, as Bob always says, if a 5-year-old can understand and navigate, then it's good. On the other hand, I'm also working on the diagram. I didn't post anything yet because I didn't feel confident with what I have as year end. I'm a bit swamped in work, as I think everyone is as well. So, but hopefully, on the next couple of days, I'll have something up on our Slack. Please, as I always says, hop in, give us your insights. I'm not trying to own the truth, and things are changing quite rapidly. We just want to post something up and then build upon what we have and make things look better and valuable for the community. And on also on those on that sense as well, we working on mapping and trying to create the flow which makes sense. And also I did not forget, I have to get back to you, Steve, on the questions for the questionnaire next year. And yeah, please, anyone joining the call who wants to help us with data gathering, just hop on the Slack and let's do it. That's the updates from Martin.
Awesome. Hey, just a reminder, I didn't put a slide, but I think it's a good segue. We talked about this a little bit 2 weeks ago, but my plan is to really kick off the 2.0 project, maybe second week of January, let everybody get back from vacation and then do a formal kickoff for it. That'll involve putting up some formal postings up on LinkedIn and Twitter and the other channels that we have to get that out. Call for fresh volunteers, hopefully to reinvigorate maybe some people who'd been involved early and dropped out, or to find new people who want in. We'll be putting together a survey to get people involved in, answering questions about what kinds of issues they'd like to see addressed, and really just get that formally kicked off. So expect to see that early in the new year. Sandy.
Yeah. So I guess it's been a week and a half since we released the 0.05 version. Really amazing positive reaction to it. I expected to get a lot more kind of mixed feedback. It was by far super positive. A couple of people submitted some suggestions on minor edits. I thought that there would be a lot more conversation on the current document, but the edits I've received are fairly minor. So I had planned on pushing some things like the mitigation mapping and the use cases into a 2.0 version, but I'm going to try and do it for a 1.0 version in the first quarter. There's been a large number of people who have joined my group, and so I'm excited to turn over some of the work and have some other fresh ideas.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really probably one of the best experiences, just to have something that was really just an idea that I brought to you, Steve. And as you know, I rewrote it so many different times and it morphed, and then to have it so well received. Part of the other things, I do want to give an update on the Protect AI came to us a couple months ago and suggested doing some sort of a hacking event. We had coming up here in Boise. We were looking for somewhere in the Northwest. But Protect AI, they just are super busy and they didn't feel like they could pull it together in Q1. So they're looking at something in Q2. So if anyone knows of an event where that would fit, an in-person event, that would be awesome. And I can connect you with Protect AI on some of that strategy. Working with John Sorensen and Rob Vanderveer on supporting the OWASP AI exchange. So as everyone knows, our scope is fairly narrow when it comes to artificial intelligence. We're not trying to really address a lot of the bigger questions around fairness and security and other types of AI technology and how you do testing and deployment and all of those things. So John and I are working together. He pulled me in and then decided he was going to write a book. So I but coordinating with Rob Vanderveer and the importance and why that's meaningful to this group is it allows people who go to OWASP looking for artificial intelligence information and best practices, the more clarity about where they can find what each of our groups are doing and what kind of support they can get or be part of, more that we connect those dots for them. I think that's super helpful and makes our work more efficient. As we all know, we all get questions right now on the ML, comparing the ML top 10 to the OWASP top 10. How do those map? So we certainly want to improve some of that communication. And then working with Ken on supporting the CSA, the Computer Security Alliance Group, on some of the work they're doing. Ken, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that. They're broken out into groups and they're mapping to the existing control process that they have so that they can encapsulate artificial intelligence and large language models into that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Sandy. So Cloud Security Alliance currently has since actually September has been working on the AI safety initiative, but recently established 4 different working groups. One is what listed here as a technology and risk working group. Another is AI control working group. And then 2 separate other separate group is AI organization responsibility working group, and then AI compliance and governance working group. So in terms of the AI technology and the risk group, and also AI control group, there's a common work stream is trying to define the risk categories. That's actually some of the work Sandy has been working on. And also Emmanuel, whatever the data gathering methodologies you use could potentially be helpful and can be leveraged. So currently the common stream of work is trying to define how can we gather those vulnerabilities and to group them in a way that can be like machine readable and also human readable, right? So the idea is to have the life cycle in terms of like different model or data in the life cycle of the machine learning or application development, and then have the asset related to it, and then the potential threat, and the threat, if happen, what kind of impact it is. So it's kind of organized this way, and there's already lots of vulnerabilities already accumulated. Sandy and Kurt from CSA has also working on, and also some from the AI exchange and AI vulnerability database. So that could potentially be helpful. And Emmanuel, or maybe I can talk with you as well to see how can we kind of have a combined effort or somehow, right, to make it more kind of robust. So this is the common stream, and once this is done, the control group will more talk about given this threat, what kind of control we can apply. And the technology and the risk working group we are more working on the what kind of technology associated with it. So there's overlapping, right? I'm currently co-chair the control group, and also the organization responsibility working group. I think what Sandy, what you did, the checklist, could potentially also be leveraged by organization responsibility group as well. So there's a lot of synergy between CSA and the OWASP. I see also Sandy and Ed's and the other people as well joins some of the CSA meetings. So that's good synergy between different groups. Thanks.
All right, Sandy, anything else you wanted to cover out?
No, that's it.
All right, let's see. So
Okay. I can give an update too, Steve. I didn't prepare a slide, but I can
That's
chime in.
great. Go ahead.
It kind of actually ties in very nicely to the things that Sandy and Ken talked. So if you think about when we started the conversation about standards alignment, I think we have never been so central to every single kind of standardization activity that I know. So I think we're in an excellent place at the moment. From an AI exchange, Rob, kind of got involved in ISO, in the European, I can't remember the CNLEC, I can't the name. MITRE, we had the conversations with NIST, the adversarial side of things. And now, as you know, we've applied and been accepted in principle to join the AI Safety Institute. That will create a bit of work for all of us, because unlike all the other groups, assuming that we get the fee still from OWASP, there is $1,000 nominal fee, but there is a structured piece of work that will be asked to participate, and I will be looking for volunteers to be involved in that and help us flesh out some of the kind of those things. So I think in terms of standards, we're in an excellent place. Well done to all of us. Sandy, fantastic work there with the checklist, became a good tool to drive that conversation. Again, with the CSA thing, I think the focus now moves into two different. So there is the AI Safety Institute that will join, will be part of that. Aligning with the AI Exchange, help us also be part of that conversation, and it will happen organically. I think the next thing to focus on is, as I said last time, vendors, and also, groups, because all this is part of enablement, all this is part of making our stuff being used rather than just being somewhere in the kind of. So I think, I will probably come back and ask to change a little bit the standards alignment and what it does, but that can be part of the planning sessions that you plan to have, Stephen. Also, an area that I would like to focus more is on the supply chain risks that we have, because more and more I see open source models coming to the fore. And I've started working with a group that has done some benchmarking, and I'd like to bring that in so that, we provide that level of assurance. So that's my update.
Great. Questions for John? All right. Well, John, kudos for really getting out there and moving and shaking on behalf of the group. It's awesome to see all the traction, and I think leading into next year with everything that we'll be doing, we'll have the group right at the center of what's going on. All right. Anybody else have an update that they would like to give today? All right. So just to sum this up, again, last meeting of the year, big congratulations to everybody on the team, whether you've been with us since May or June, or whether this is your first time jumping on the call. This has been a great year for this group, from literally coming together with nothing to having, last time I looked, nearly 900 people on the Slack channel. I'm sure it's hundreds of active contributors at this point, with people who one way or another have done something active for the project. Tons and tons of people subscribed to our LinkedIn groups, our email newsletters, people pitching in everywhere. And, for those of you who've joined the core team and are putting in extra effort leading sub projects and things like that, can't thank you enough for all the energy you've put into it. I think it's really amazing to see how we're going to be able to leverage this group to get a lot done and have a lot of impact out in the industry. So personal thanks from me. And I'm looking forward to a great 2024 with the team. So let y'all go. We'll see you all in January, and talk to y'all soon.